There, it's Leslie. And I always get this question. I really want to tone and strengthen the back of my arms. Well, when we look at the function of the tricep, it has a huge influence of being activated when we are in shoulder extension. So, what I want you to think about doing is just taking your arms and extending them behind you. You'll automatically feel the tricep engage. But yet, I see people in the gym working out on the machine doing this motion here. But the tricep is very limited. If I'm doing a motion here, I'm essentially in shoulder flexion versus shoulder extension. Same thing, if I'm doing this motion over my head, trying to target my triceps, I'm still in shoulder flexion. So once again, if we can really feel what our body is trying to tell us to do, we'll actually get better results. So you can literally take your arms behind you, externally rotate your hands, bring your arms behind you, and simply lift. Now, the more you hinge forward, the farther your shoulders go behind you, and the more you're going to actually feel those triceps. Now I can move from elbow flexion to elbow extension, and now I'm going to get the benefit of activating my triceps against gravity by using my own body weight. So I can use a Theraband, I could use handheld weights, but for me, I really love using a Theraband because of the fact that it's just, you can take it anywhere, anytime versus trying to lug around weights. So by placing, again, your hips into extension, your shoulders are open. And now when you start to lift your arms behind you or you slightly bend the elbows, I prefer to keep my elbows straight and really think about feeling the triceps work here and activating them against gravity and against the resistance of your band. Now you're going to start to feel the work. I know myself personally, even when I'm just doing this, without resistance, I notice it the next day. And I find because we're always picking things up, putting them in a shelf, we're constantly using our biceps and we're using our deltoids. But because of the triceps going, hey, I'm behind you, for example, then for all intents and purposes, we have to look at how can I get to that muscle group functionally, if that makes sense. So with our biceps, though, I mean, we can do our bicep curl here all day long, but for me personally, I like to do more of a movement that combines something else. So by stepping on my tube with my right foot and wrapping it around my left hand, then when I start to step out into a lunge, and now I start to work into my biceps. So again, I'm in shoulder flexion, elbow flexion, moving into knee flexion, and I'm moving into my inner thighs. So now I've got a movement that really combines a lot of body parts here, which is way more functional than just doing standing bicep curls, if that makes sense. Similar to doing our triceps. Once again, if I want to add in maybe hamstrings, glutes, I'm going to add in a good functional squat. So I'm going to move into a squat as I press out and as I come in, activating into those triceps. So again, I can do this in such a short amount of time. And once again, if I want to go into my pecs, I could literally just say, okay, I'm going to be here and do this motion here. But on the flip side, how functional is that really? But by placing my left foot back and now adding rotation, as I reach across, for example, not only am I working into the shoulders and the pecs, but I'm working into my core and into my obliques. Same thing by asking to do the other side. So this rotational movement is great because it's opening up my hips and it's working into my shoulders versus just laying on a bench and doing this. Keeping in mind, when we look at strength training, the more that we can add in the rest of our body, we're going to cut our time down, going to burn more calories, and it's going to be more functional, but yet keep it simplistic. So instead of having, a lot of choreography in mind, it's like, how can I do a movement that is, not only functional, but isn't hard to do. So by taking our band in front of us again, and again, these are so easy to just carry around and go wherever you want, is again a side bend. So once again, here I am. I'm getting those obliques to activate, right? I'm feeling the work here. But as you pull down, I want you to think as I'm pulling down, ooh, I'm getting a little bit of latissimus dorsi here, but I'm stabilizing with this shoulder. So I could step out, step in, once again, making this a little bit more of an exciting movement. Other side, and you'll feel that one side might be a little bit easier than the other. Think of how you can put all this together. We can literally say, all right, we're going to go into our triceps here for like 10 reps or something like that. Step on down, go right into my bicep. Whoops, as that goes away, go right into my biceps, leaning into it here. All right, and then taking my band directly behind me and going into my shoulder and chest press here and moving then into a nice pull down here, all of which can take very little time to do. And of course, our bands come in lots of different resistances. I personally like the medium one. It makes life really easy. These are just a few easy tools and techniques you can use for your core connection. This is Leslee Bender, and add this into your program and notice how you feel.